Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the midday news on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365, and on Star Times, channel 276. We begin from the presidential villa, where President Bola Tinubu has inaugurated 7 newly completed projects at the University of Ilorin as part of activities marking the institution's 40th convocation ceremonies. Speaking during the inauguration, President Tinubu, represented by the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Professor Akinike Olajide, said the newly inaugurated facilities reflect his administration's commitment to advancing education and innovation in Nigeria. The project, which cuts across different faculties and departments, include the Faculty of Social Sciences building, a block of 4 lecture halls for the faculties of Social Science and Management, the Department of English Drama Studio, and the Faculty of Art, and the renovated blocks 1 to 10. Moving away from that, the detained leader of the proscribed separatist group, the Indigenous People of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has abandoned his earlier plan to call witness in his defense in his ongoing trial for alleged terrorism offenses. The court on October 24 adjourned till October 27 for Kanu to open his defense. Kanu had written the court indicating his intention to call witnesses and applied for witnesses' sermons. When the case was called, Kanu said he has gone through the case file and realized that there is no valid charge against him, arguing that since he was subjected to what he called an unlawful trial, there would be no need for him to conduct any defense. The Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike has arrived in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, for the 2025 Asia-Pacific Summit and Mayors Forum in Dubai this week. This is contained in a statement issued by the Minister's Senior Special Assistant on Public Communications and Social Media, Larry Olayinka. Wike was received by the Consul General of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in Dubai, Zayanu Ibrahim, as well as officials of the Federal Capital Territory Administration who had earlier arrived. Now to the health sector, where the Health Services and Environmental Secretariat of the Federal Capital Territory Administration has intensified advocacy and field activities across the city to ensure that every child is protected against preventable diseases. This was disclosed in a statement signed by Bola Ajao, Special Advisor on Media to the Mandate Secretary of the Health Sciences and Environmental Secretariat of the Administration, Dr. Adedolakpo Fashawe. Fashawe emphasized the importance of compliance with the ongoing child immunization campaign, Measles Rubella, under the Child Rights Act 2003. And now talking electoral matters, where the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC says it will conduct the forthcoming Anambra election in 5,718 out of the 5,720 polling units across the state. The information was given by Dr. Kenneth Ikeagu, the National Commissioner supervising Anambra State and the Chairman of INEC's Tender Board Committee during a readiness assessment visit by a delegation from the INEC's headquarters in Abuja. Ikeagu said the Commission has achieved 99% operational preparedness for the November 8, 2025 governorship election in Anambra State. And now to security matters, where the Nigerian Defense Academy in Kaduna State has advised residents of Afaka, Kauya, and Mando to steer clear of its open range from Tuesday to November 7. This is contained in a statement issued by the Academy Public Relations Officer, Major Muhammad Maidawa, in Kaduna State. Maidawa stated that inhabitants of Mando, Tsamia, Kauya, and Afaka general areas are cautioned as it will be conducting a range management package shooting exercise for cadets of the 73 Regular Course Army. Let's now move to Jigawa State, where former Governor Sule Lamido has formally declared his intention to contest for the position of National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Lamido made the announcement in a post on his verified Facebook page, saying he would visit the party's national headquarters to purchase his nomination form. A key member of the PDP and a former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Lamido said he is committed to rebuilding and strengthening the party ahead of future elections. Still talking politics, the African Democratic Congress ADC in Adamawa State has inaugurated a caretaker committee to steer the party's affairs until a new leadership is formally elected. Presiding over the inauguration, the Northeast Zonal Vice Chairman of the ADC, David Lawal Babachir, said stakeholders agreed to constitute the interim team to stabilize the party and prepare it for the 2027 general elections. Babachir explained that the new structure was approved by the National Working Committee after due consultations and compliance with the party's constitution. On a sad note, at least 5 teenage girls have lost their lives following a boat mishap in Nafada town, Gombe State. Media aide to Governor Inua Yahaya, Ismaila Uba Misili, has expressed deep sadness over the incident in condolence message to the bereaved families. He described the incident as painful and heart-wrenching, especially given the tender ages of the victims and the grief caused to the families. United Nations Children Fund UNICEF Child Protection Specialist Victor Atuchukwu has raised concerns that some internally displaced persons, IDP camps, officials were using their positions to take advantage of vulnerable girls and women dislocated by conflict. Atuchukwu disclosed this during a meeting convened by the JASPI Health and Gender Development Initiative in collaboration with UNICEF to map out modalities for the prevention of sexual and gender-based violence, as well as sexual exploitation and abuse in Makurdi. He noted that gender-based violence targets individuals because of their gender, while sexual exploitation involves abusing positions of power or trust for sexual or financial gains. And now to weather matter, where the Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET has forecast varying weather conditions across the country from Monday to Wednesday, with slight dust haze expected in northern states and moderate rainfall across part of the central and southern regions. The agency warned of possible flash floods in some states and advised the public to remain alert. In a 3-day weather outlook released, the agency stated that slight dust haze with good visibility is expected over Borno, Zamfara, Northern Kaduna, Yobe, Jigawa, Kano, and Katsina State on Monday. You're watching the live broadcast of the Midday News. When the Midday News returns, Federal Inland Revenue Service gross tax collection to 47.39 trillion naira. On details of this are going to come shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back from that break, and if you're just tuning in, this is the live broadcast of the Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital. I am Mukhtar Kasim. And now to business news, where the Central Bank of Nigeria has released a total of $1.259 billion to oil sector players for the importation of petroleum products and other related items into the country. In a fresh data from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, petroleum marketers imported 69% of the 21 billion litres of petrol Nigerians consumed between August 2024 and the first 10 days of October 2025. The amounts released between the first 3 months of 2025 is against the backdrop of the insistence of marketers to continue fuel imports despite the availability of petrol from the Dangote refinery. In the meantime, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has achieved a record-breaking tax collection of 47.39 trillion naira between October 2023 and September 2025. This period is under the current leadership of the Revenue Service Chairman, Zak Adedeji. President Bola Tinubu had approved the appointment of the tax chair on September 14, 2023. Still talking business, the National Orientation Agency says Nigeria's debt burden has significantly decreased since President Bola Tinubu assumed office in 2023, dismissing claims suggesting otherwise. The Debt Management Office said Nigeria's total debt stock has risen to 152.40 trillion naira as of June 30, 2025. The Debt Management Office said the figures represent a 3.01 trillion naira increase from 149.39 trillion naira recorded at the end of March 2025, marking a 2.01% rise within 3 months. And now to news making rounds on the foreign scene. Tensions grip Cameroon as protesters erupt ahead of official presidential election results. Now, at least 4 people have been killed in clashes between security forces and opposition supporters. Our correspondent has details. The unrest began after opposition leader Issa Chiroma declared himself winner of the October 12 election, claiming 54.8% of the vote. He urged supporters to march peacefully despite a ban on public gathering. Security forces clashed with demonstrators in Douala, where police stations and a gendarmerie post were reportedly attacked. Authorities confirmed 4 deaths and several injuries among security personnel. In Gawa, Chiroma's northern stronghold, protesters waved flags and chanted, "Goodbye, Biya, Chiroma is coming." In Yaoundé, a heavy police presence kept the capital largely quiet. Cameroon's Minister of Territorial Administration described the protest as a threat to national security. The country awaits official results expected to extend President Paul Biya's 43-year rule. Let's move away from Africa to the Middle East, where the United Nations Palestinian Refugee Agency says Israel is continuing to deny entry to its global staff and aid supplies into Gaza in defiance of an ICJ ruling. Hamas expands its search for the 13 remaining bodies of Israeli captives in Gaza and is working with the Red Cross and Egyptian teams to search behind the Israeli military line. Palestinians returning to their homes in Gaza are facing danger from unexploded ordnance, with at least 53 people killed and hundreds injured by explosives left behind by the Israeli military. In the meantime, the Gaza Tribunal has issued its final findings, saying that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza and that Israeli perpetrators and their Western enablers should not be allowed to escape justice for their crimes. The unofficial tribunal, which was established in London last November, gave its moral judgment following 4 days of public hearing in Istanbul, Turkey, presided over by Richard Falk, a former United Nations Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in the Palestinian territories. The initiative comes in tradition of the Russell Tribunal, which heard evidence in the 1967 of United War's crimes in Vietnam. Let's now head to the United States, where New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani has given an emotional speech addressing what he has called racist, baseless attacks from his opponent, a day before early voting begins in the race where he's projected to win. Speaking outside a mosque in the Bronx region, Mamdani criticized his opponent for bringing, in his words, hatred to the forefront, noting that their Islamophobia not only affects him as the Democratic nominee for mayor, but also close to 1 million Muslims living in New York. Our correspondent, Uyi Agbamofwegwe, has the rest of the story.
Mamdani, who is currently a member of the New York State Assembly, said while he had tried to focus his election campaign on his core message of affordability, his opponents in recent days has shown that Islamophobia has emerged as one of the few areas of agreement. His speech also came a day after his top opponent, former New York State's Governor Andrew Cuomo, laughed after a radio host, Sid Rosenberg, said Mamdani would be cheering if another September 11 attack occurs.
It is whether we are willing to say goodbye to anti-Muslim sentiment that has grown so endemic in our city that when we hear it, we know not whether the words were spoken by a Republican or a Democrat. We know only that it was spoken in the language of politics of this city. In an era of ever-diminishing bipartisanship, it seems that Islamophobia has emerged as one of the few areas of agreement.
Zohran Mamdani said the endorsement from Hakeem Jeffries, the leader of the Democratic Party in the U.S. House of Representatives and the representative of New York's 8th Congressional District, which includes the Brooklyn neighborhoods of East Flatbush, Coney Island, and Brownsville. Uyi Agbamofwegwe, reporting for Global TV News.
And now to the world of sport, where it was a celebration in Abuja as the FCT Golf chapter joined millions across the country to commemorate Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary with a special golf tournament and cultural reception. Our sports correspondent, Samuel Odi, reports for Global Television.
As the activities marking the Swan at 60 commences, the national president said it was good.
Still talking sports, the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria SWAN, led by its national president, Isaiah Benjamin, has held a Thanksgiving service at the City Refuge International Church in Abuja, commemorating SWAN at 60 Diamond celebration. Aniete Patrick reports.
As the activities marking the Swan at 60 commences, the national president said it was. He added that this milestone in SWAN only signifies greater days ahead of the association.
We are celebrating our 60th anniversary. We were established in the year 1964. We were 60 last year, and we thought to celebrate it. We have come to understand that there is nothing that we do without giving thanks to God. And because we know that it's God that is the doer of all things, He has kept the association for this past 60 years, and to God alone be all the glory.
Commending the association, the cleric at the church prayed for the body, urging them to do more in nation building. Aniete Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
And that's it on the Midday News. A quick reminder, Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365, and on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms, now displayed on your screen, using our Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim, saying a very big thank you for watching.